Sanjay Uvacha Ityarjunam Vasudevastatoktava Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuya Ashvasyamasa cha bhitamenam Bhutva puna saumya vapur mahatma. Word-to-word translation. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya said, Iti, thus, Arjunam, onto Arjuna, Vasudevaha, Krishna, Tatha, in this way, Uktava, speaking, Swakam, his own, Rupam, form, Darshayamasa, showed, Bhuyam, gain, Avasyam asa, encouraged, Cha, also, Bhitam, fearful, Inam, him, Bhutva, becoming, Punaha, again, Saumya Vapu, the beautiful form, Mahatma, the great one. Translation. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Purport. By His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed Narayana. But when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-handed form. But since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again and then showed him his two-handed form. The word Saumya Vapu is very significant. Saumya Vapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form, and because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is stated, Premanjana Chorita Bhakti Vilochanena. Only a person whose eyes are submerged with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Shri Krishna. Every verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is so beautifully explained by Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse is a conversation going on between Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra. So Sanjaya is telling that this has happened there in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Sanjaya was sitting where? At Hastinapur. So we have to understand who is Sanjaya a little bit. Sanjaya was not an ordinary person. He was given that golden opportunity that he can see the dialogues going on between Krishna and Arjuna directly. He was the disciple of Vedavyasa, who was a Shakya avatar of Lord Shri Krishna himself. By birth, Sanjaya was a Sutputra, the one who belongs from the family of weavers. But then to uplift himself, he taken the spiritual education and took Vedavyasa as his spiritual master. Because of Vedavyasa, he was got so much elevated that he's got the opportunity to see Lord Shri Krishna and Arjuna, and their direct dialogues were going on, and he was the witness of all this. Not an ordinary man can have this great opportunity. So we have to learn a lot from Sanjaya. What was the qualities of Sanjaya? He was an attentive listener. He was the disciple from a parampara. He was the person who was watching attentively and giving narration attentively without any manipulation, as it is. So Srila Prabhupada ji has also given us same Bhagavad Gita as it is. So the parampara is coming off from the battlefield itself to our temples. That was the quality of Sanjaya. He was the chosen one. As we have read earlier verses and heard from earlier speakers, only a divine can understand the divine knowledge. Only a divine can be given that divine opportunity. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is taken from Mahabharata, from Bhishma Parva. And there it's been mentioned as Veda Vyasa, as a father of Dhritarashtra, as a father of Pandu, as a father of Vidura. First given this opportunity to Dhritarashtra, that I can give you that divine vision and you see yourself what's going to happen into the battlefield of Kurukshetra. You never stopped your son Duryodhana and everybody followed him. Now you are going to doomed along with your clan. But then Dhritarashtra said, my dear father, first I don't find myself fit enough. I will not recognize who's who because I am blind by birth. Even if by your mercy again, because of the divine vision, if I get to know who's who, I cannot see this happening in front of my eyes. I am not having that big heart. So give this great opportunity to Sanjaya. So even though maybe for the purpose of giving him a opportunity to be a part of that Mahabharata Yudh, but then the right opportunity reaches to the right person. That is the divine calculation. That is how Sanjaya got the opportunity, and he is doing justice to us. He is not manipulating anything. He is just watching, hearing and giving that all narration to Dhritarashtra. If we, today's world, through TV, through other media, things have become easy, but just try to understand those times. 5,000 years back, this was the miraculous things our sages were having with them. One is sitting in Hastinapur and one is in Kurukshetra, but then he was hearing everything, he was watching everything, and he was giving narration, and he has become the part of history. Not just a history, but a part of all this divine knowledge. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya is saying all these things. So we have to learn a lot from Sanjaya. Why I am giving stress on Sanjaya? Because Bhagavad Gita has given him opportunity to be a part of it. So now this is our duty to take some benefit out of his character. If we go further, Bhagavad Gita finishes in chapter 18th, verse 73. That is the winding up shloka by Arjuna. What Arjuna is saying? He is telling, Nashta moham smritir labdha. After listening all the shlokas, the verses, he is telling, Nashta moham smritir labdha. I have got the memory back. Because when you are in moha, you lose your memory. You get attached to that person or that thing that you lose to take right and wrong. He was so attached to his family and he was afraid of that warfare that he wanted to just by-side everything. But now he is telling, Nashta moham smritir labdha. I have got my memory back. And karishe vachanam tava. As you say, Krishna, I will do that. So 18th chapter verse 73 is concluding by Arjuna. But next 5 verses starting from 74 till 78 by Sanjaya. He is concluding beautifully. What he's telling, I'll just read a little fast just to give you the gist. 74 verse, Sanjay said, "Thus I have heard the conversation between the great souls Krishna and Arjuna, and my hairs are standing. I'm getting goosebumps." 75 shloka, he is telling because of the mercy of Vyasa. He is not forgetting his Gurudev. He is still remembering. Otherwise, once you got opportunity, who remembers who? But he is remembering. Need to learn that also from Sanjaya. Never forget the spiritual master. Never forget Srila Prabhupada. Because of them, we are getting this opportunity. In next, he is telling 76 verse. I repeatedly recalls this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. I take pleasure and being thrilled at every moment. That should be the spirit of all of us. When we read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we should get thrilled. That is the mood of Sanjaya. He is recalling everything again and again and getting thrilled. 77 verse, he said, "O King, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more and rejoice again and again." So he is into rejoice and again. That is the purpose of hearing of Bhagavad Gita on daily basis. We should feel that rejoice. And the final verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita by Sanjaya, 18th chapter 78 is, "Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Parthor Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhuva Nitir Matir Mama." So where the victory lies? Victory lies with where Krishna, the master of all mystic power, and Arjuna is present, there lies the victory. This is my opinion, and he is writing up that also. So he is the right candidate to be the part of this historical event that took place at Kurukshetra. Need to learn a lot from him. Active listening, active viewing, and then right narration. Right here also we can follow. We should be actively, should participate in our seva, should be with open eyes, and should narrate rightly to the authorities. Why not? Ultimately, everything belongs to Krishna. We should not manipulate. The power of manipulation lies within us. Otherwise, things are pure. So this is about Sanjaya, who is a great personality. Should always remember and try to learn. Then we are coming back to the shloka where Srila Prabhupada ji has beautifully explained that Krishna appeared as a son of Vasudeva and Devaki in 4-arm Narayana form. He was having 4 arms and was Narayana. Everybody is running about Narayana. Ashtanga Yogi, all Rishi, Muni, Jnana Yogi, they are running for Narayana. But Devaki and Vasudev didn't like it much. Why so? Because they wanted to taste the nectar of Vatsalya Rasa. Same thing happened at Ram Janam also. When Lord Rama took birth, that time also he appeared in the form of Narayana, greenish blue color. That time also the mother Kaushalya requested, I didn't like much of this form. And the great devotees have given very beautiful narrations on that Kaushalya Mata is telling, I didn't like it much, and the devotee is writing the poem, उपजा जब ज्ञाना प्रभु मुस्काना चरित बहु विधि किन्ह चहे कही कथा सुनाई मातु बुझाई ते ही प्रकार सुत प्रेम लहे. It's saying like उपजा जब ज्ञाना. Mata lost all love and affection for the child. She started saying prayers. Right or wrong? That is what one's supposed to be. When you are saying the Almighty Lord, you have to say nice prayers. You have to bow down your head. That is what she is doing because she got the jnana. Then Lord is trying to pacify her by saying, No, mother, you wanted me to have your child. But then mother is not getting convinced because she is seeing Lord Narayana. And then somewhere in between she said, people gonna laugh at me when I will tell I have given birth to God. I'm gonna love my child. A mother's bond with the child develops when mother sees a child as helpless. He can't take a turn without me. He can't do this thing without me. So the Vatsalya Rasa increases. Then Mother Yashoda in the last Mother Kaushalya in last said, Kije Shishu Leela. Ati Priyasila Yeh Sukh Param Anupa. So you do Shishu Leela. The same Mother Devaki is also telling. Devaki and Vasudev, they are telling the same thing. You do the Shishu Leela. So, but Lord did his pastime showing that I am the one you always prayed for their past life. That Sutpa and Prishni Garb, they have different birth. They wanted to achieve Lord as their son. So Lord said, this is the reason I have given, that you are not getting cheated, you got me. So I am I am Narayana. Now to increase your Vatsalya, I am gonna come as Dvibhuja, two-armed one. And we in Shri Vrindavan Dham doing all bhajan, kriya, offering to Shyam Sundar, the one who is having two arms. So we are doing the perfect thing as per all this understanding, analogy. We are onto the right path. There is no wrong in Vishvarupa. Arjuna asked for Vishvarupa and Krishna shown the Vishvarupa. But because of Vishvarupa, he was becoming fearful. So Vishvarupa was with unlimited hands, unlimited bellies, unlimited mouth, and there was no end to it. And Arjuna, the great devotee of Krishna, got fearful, terrified seeing it. Then Lord shifted himself from fearful to peaceful, opulent form. That is Chaturbhuj Narayana. And from peaceful, opulent Chaturbhuj Narayana to Krishna, which is two-armed Vamshidhari, Venu Gopal. The Gopal who is carrying the Venu. So that is how it is getting further more and more intense with devotion, with loving relationship to the Lord. So Vishvarupa is a fearful, Chaturbhuja, peaceful and opulent, then to Dvibhuja, Krishna, all loving, blissful, happy with the gopis. So we are so fortunate we have got this understanding at least. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Acharyas. This is not that difficult, but it is not that easy to understand in such a beautiful way. That's been explained by Srila Prabhupada in all this purport of chapter 11. So in Bhagavad Gita, when we talk about all total shlokas, so the part played by Sanjaya, he has spoken 41 shlokas, and last chapter he has concluded all his understanding. So we have to understand that he is with Krishna, he is with Arjuna, witnessing everything and giving us the mantra. The mantra of success is to be with Krishna and Arjuna. That is the mantra. So we have to understand everything is here available. It's how you take it. The knowledge is readily available. It's how I perceive it. And after perceiving, how I apply it. It should not be like a nitya karma. It should be like awakening of your own self. Achar, Vichar, Prachar. These three should go all together. Your acharan, your way of thinking, Vichar, what's your thinking about, and then your Prachar. It should not Like when you are sitting on a Vyasasana, you are best of the Pandits. But your acharan should also match. Stick to what you say. That is what we have learned all in Bhagavad Gita. Be yourself and surrender on to Krishna. Do your duties the best you can. Don't try to follow others. Be yourself and surrender. That is what. Be yourself can be as a, it's not like only in a bigger sense, in a smaller sense also we can understand. Like a Stri Dharma, Purush Dharma, time, place, circumstances, which is best. So that has to be taken care of always, those who are regularly reading and hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Then here Krishna has been mentioned as Saumya Vapu, the beautiful form, Saumya. So devotees are always for Saumya Vapu, the form of Krishna which is very beautiful, which is not fearful. So we are trying to achieve the ultimate purpose of life through beautiful form of Krishna, because this is one of the easiest way. When you see something, when you see someone, it's easy to love because you get connect with that. It's easy to fight also because then you reciprocate. That is why Krishna is available. The way it's easy for us to love him. All the mellows, all the rasas can be tasted in relationship with Krishna. Some are having Sakha Bhav, they are happy with his friendship with Krishna. Arjuna is one example. Some are having Vatsalya Bhav. Mother Yashoda, Devaki, so many elderly aged gopis were in Vatsalya rasas. So Krishna is just not doing something which cannot be experienced. It's very near to us, all these rasas, all this relationship. We are experiencing this all days, these years, days and night, with family, with friend, with relative, with enemies. Even how to deal with enemy, that is also there in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So that's the success book actually. We should always keep with us how to react, when to react, and how much to be quiet. Everybody is entitled to whatever they say. Mansa, Vacha, Karmana. All karmas we are doing by our man, by our vani, and by karmendriya. So Bhagavad Gita awakens us. But then we should not sleep back again. Learn from each and every verse. So coming back to Saumya Vapu. So Saumya Vapu is Krishna, and in this form we are getting more and more attracted, and it's been mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada in Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiv Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundar Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. Who is telling all these beautiful verses? Brahmaji, the creator. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Your eyes should be submerged with the ointment of love. Bhakti Vilochanena. Santa Sadaiv Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. Santa never goes here and there. They are watching Krishna within the heart. Yam Sham Sundar Achintya Guna Swarupam. Sham Sundar is having the gunas which is beyond imagination. He never used any ayudh or weapon till the time he was in Vrindavan. He was non-violence in a sense. He was only using his hands to kill the demons every day. Some demon or other were attacking Vrindavan, Gokul, Nandagaon when he was here. He never used any weapon, nothing. But once he reached Mathura, the Karma Bhumi, he used first ayudh. What was that? The tusk of elephant, Kholia Pid. He used that and slashed off everybody. He never used anything in Vrindavan because this is the land of love. He was giving protection, but he was not creating any sort of violence against. But then reaching there in Mathura, he was in his form. Now I am here to do different task. So we have to learn that Saumya Vapu is still Saumya Vapu here. He acts and reacts accordingly in Vrindavan Dham. But outside this jurisdiction, he acts differently. That is why this is called the abode of Krishna. Krishna is still residing here. Vrindavanam paritajya padam ekam na gacchati. I am still here. I am not going anywhere. In Vrindavan only. What else we need? We are so fortunate by the mercy of Radharani. We are here. Let us do our best. Best surrender, best seva, best loyalty to Srila Prabhupada. Then I would like to mention one beautiful story related to Krishna. Once so happened, Narada Muni was traveling from one place to another as usual. He is a transcendental space person who can go anywhere. So he was traveling, and then on his way he reached Prayagraja. So going there in Prayagraja paid him obeisances, welcomed Narada Muni. Narada Muni was so happy, and then he offered very nice things to Pujan, Archana, Asan, everything was offered by Tirtha Raja, and Prayagaraja is known as Tirtha Raja, so he offered everything and acted very nicely. Then Narada Muni inquired one question. He asked very softly and very sweetly, "How are you?" He said, "I am all good. By the mercy of Shri Hari, I am doing good. Everything is very nice." And then he said, "You are Tirtha Raja. You really doing nicely. Everybody is coming and giving you offering and all." He said, "Yes, all well, all fine." Then he said, "Did Vrindavan ever came to you to offer you obeisances or anything?" Prayagaraja was asked, "Vrindavan never visited me. I am a Tirtha Raja. Yeah, actually I am a Tirtha Raja. I am a Prayagaraja. So Vrindavan never visited me, never given me any offering." So yeah, it's a right question, Narada Muni. So he said, Narada said, "Yeah, actually I was thinking, did Vrindavan ever visited you or not? What's happening?" So said, "Yeah, I need to ask this question to Shri Hari. I have given this post. I have given this post as a king of all the tirthas, as a king of all the holy places. Then why this Vrindavan is not coming to me?" So he approached the Lord and Lord also given him due respect, given him place, and he also said his obeisances to the Lord, everything settled. And then he said, "Prabhu, I have come here to ask one question." So Lord said, "Yes, please go ahead." Then Tirtharaj Prayagraj, the king of the Tirthas, asked, "Vrindavan never come to me, never give me any offering, and even never report to me." After hearing the word Vrindavan, Krishna sat back. He started remembering Vrindavan. He started remembering Yamuna ji. He started remembering Gopas. He started remembering Gopis. He started remembering Giriraj ji, Yashoda Maiya, Nanda Baba, and Kishori ji, Shri Radha Rani ji. And tears started rolling onto the eyes of the Lord. And Tirtharaj was again awestruck. He was in wonder, what's happening? And Krishna very gravely replied, "Yes, Tirtharaj, I have given you this post. I have made you the king of all the tirthas, but I have not made you the master of my own house. Vrindavan is my house. It doesn't come in your jurisdiction. It's not in your jurisdiction. It's my own abode, and there is no difference between Krishna and his abode. There is no difference between Krishna and Vrindavan. There is no difference between Krishna and his Vani. So that is how he got the answer, and then Krishna said, before leaving Tirthraj, make one practice. You should also try to serve Vrindavan. So this was a beautiful answer given to Tirthraj, that he should also serve Vrindavan. And how fortunate we are. We have got abundance of possibilities, opportunities to serve Vrindavan, even by just cleaning one place, just putting up some leaf, dry thing, or some garbage from the land of Vrindavan, putting into dustbin is also a service to Vrindavan Dham. This teaching is given to Tirthraj by Lord himself. We have to learn a lot. Every day, every story teaches us a lot. Respect where you are. Respect this land. Gratitude. It's not just verbal, physical. Let me do something for my Vrindavan. Let me do something for my temple. Let me do something worth before I leave my body. Worth to be remembered. Worth to be remembered as a devotee who has done some contribution, worth to be remembered. That is, we have to learn, understand, imbibe, and practice on day-to-day life. This beautiful verse is teaching us the qualities of Sanjaya, the mindset of a devotee. Devotee is never get attracted by big pomp and shows. If he is getting attracted, he is not a devotee. Everyone, all of us is not a devotee. We are onto the path of devotion. We all are practicing. My level, your level may not match, but we are in the same class, and the class is sadhana bhakti. I am chanting good rounds. I may not be good in another thing. I may be reading good. I may not be good in another thing. So this is a class, like we have so many subjects, but slowly and surely have to master them all by surrendering onto Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and to Shri Vrindavan Dham. When I initially joined ISKCON, actually when you are new to anything, you are actually pure. Contamination comes as you grow. It may be the case for me, it may not be the case for you. But then always have your own checklist, your barometer with you. Where I am going wrong, what people are telling, it will not go to your head, it will only go to your ear. But when you will start scanning yourself, it will really enter to your head and heart together. So initial days, somebody, when I was used to come Vrindavan, they used to make us very fearful. Vrindavan, no litter, no here and there running, everything Krishna. Even need not to go to temple. Trees are so powerful, you can pray to them. They are the personification of Krishna. So we used to be so much confused, but so much clear that we are not going to do any mess here in Vrindavan. That was clear. But somehow that was right. If you are given right foundation, then it may happen, we get bewildered here and there, but then we come to the right path. So you have to have a strong foundation of understanding why I am here. That's it. Scan your life. Why have you put here by Krishna? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of the Guru? What is the purpose of Srila Prabhupada putting you here? It's just for living, food and everything, just going around, passing your time? No. Purpose. Nobody can be here in Vrindavan without purpose. Even the demons have their purpose. No demon roam around here without any purpose. They always come with a purpose. When Krishna was doing his Prakat Leela, that time also demons used to attack. They used to come with the purpose to destroy the community of Krishna, the Krishna and his family, all loved ones of Krishna. They were on that purpose. Today's time also, in human form, demons attack to destroy the integrity of our community, of our sadhana bhakti. So you have to check yourself. Where are you standing? And always safeguard yourself, your community, and keep on doing your seva. It should not reach. Outwardly, we have to really support wherever we can, but internally, it should reach to Krishna. You should surrender so nicely that it should reach onto the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and Shyam Sundar as an offering of your life. I may be wrong all my life, I may be wandering here, there all my life, but now I want to really do it. Really means really. No here and there. That is this shloka is all about. Devotees don't get bewildered by Vishwarupa, Narayan Rupa. They stick to Krishna Rupa. The loving, caring, blissful form, happy. I am happy, Krishna happy, Leela is going on, everybody is happy. But Vishwarupa, all these pomp and shows, all other things create more bewilderness, more confusion. And one of the important aspect of devotion is to clear your confusion. Delusion, illusion should be cleared at all. Slowly but surely. Then you have to work on it. Today's world is in a lot chaos. Same thing Arjuna went through. Not exactly the same, but nearly the same. Dying once is easy, even though it's difficult. But then dying once is easy rather than dying daily because of some fear, because of some pressure, because of doing something you don't want to, because of the pain of losing somebody, because of the pain of those to whom you love. That is what the scenario of the world right now. We all are in a great panic. Arjuna was in the same situation. This is the right time to understand Bhagavad Gita because we are going through pandemic. We are sitting on the time bomb. Anything can happen anytime. It's an invisible thing. So this is the right time to understand where are we and where are we heading. So if this virus can teach us gratitude toward life, then I think this virus is good somehow, somewhere. Gratitude toward life, gratitude toward being alive, gratitude being a devotee. As I say, I always try to learn something or other from each and every situation, from each and every individual, because I really seek a lot. Everybody is having one or other personality. I always learn something or other, and I want to. That's my desire also, to learn something. It may be not visible to you, but it is visible to me. I'm going to learn it from you. You're not even going to notice that. That is the situation in today's world. We should learn and unlearn. Learning is easy. Unlearning is very difficult. Unlearn bad habits. Learn good habits. Surrender. At the last, I would like to say, nothing is more attractive than love, care, and loyalty to Krishna. Loyalty when nobody is watching you. That is integrity. and integrity to Srila Prabhupada, to ISKCON, to Vrindavan, to its topmost position. We should offer it as an offering. That should be the attitude. We should be in the form of integrity, where we are honest, we are loyal when nobody is watching. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comment?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for very nice class. Now the Sanjay Sut Putra, you said, is the son of Vivar. So another Sutta, Sutta Sut Goswami in the Srimad Bhagavatam, he is also, I think, the son of Vivar. His name Sut Goswami. So this Vedic knowledge, even if we have low birth, then we can rise to that.
Yes.
One thing I want to ask is Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidura are brothers.
Yes.
And Amba, Ambika and Ambalika,
Ambika and Ambalika, two. Mother of Pandu, mother of Dhritarashtra. The mother of Vidura was not Amba. She was a maid servant. Her name of Parishrami something. Parishrami. She was the maid servant there. Yes. Your question, Prabhuji?
yeah, I forgot actually something. If it comes to my mind.
So Prabhuji, what he was trying to consolidate is really beautiful. He said, like I mentioned here, he was a Sut Putra and he elevated himself from lower to the higher and he became the disciple of Ved Vyasa and witnesses the dialogues between Krishna and Arjuna at the battlefield of Kurukshetra sitting in Hastinapur. So he said anyone can elevate, rightly said, anyone can elevate whosoever you are. The only thing is you need to be loyal to what you do, surrender to whichever sampradaya you are following and continue the process.
Yeah. Came to my mind.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
So now this Prayagraj
Hmm.
is Tirthraj.
Hmm.
So then it was named Allahabad,
Hmm.
India, and then now recently they have changed again to Prayagraj.
Ji.
Also Prabhupada's son is also Prayagraj. So anyway, but this I cannot understand how this Mughals they came and they were so powerful that they changed so many names. I think Ayodhya also Faridabad.
Hmm.
Some
No. Ayodhya is Ayodhya.
station is also Ayodhya, the railway station.
Yes, according to my understanding, Ayodhya is not changed. He is telling Mughals came to India and they changed all holy names. Ayodhya's name was also changed. I don't remember that. Ayodhya is Ayodhya. Yes, it was difficult to build a temple there, but by the mercy of Lord Rama, it's building up. Yeah.
Also in Ramayana we see when Ram and Lakshman killed they were disturbing the sages. Valmiki took them now. Sorry, who took them from the home? Okay, whatever. So then they killed this. But then it is mentioned in Ramayana they killed so many sages.
Not sages, they never killed sages. They always wanted to subdue the demoniac energies in the form of Rakshasas, Pishachas and all these demons, but never killed sages. They wanted to, Ram and Lakshmana always wanted to give protection to the sages so that they can keep on doing their process of yagna. That is why they went out of their house. Yes, Lord is also always giving protection to the surrendered. So we are on the right path of surrendering our life so that we are getting protection actually from the Lord's side. Anything else? Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, initial days in most of the cases when somebody actually joins, means he really wanted to learn something. He really wanted to learn the path of devotion. They know nothing, no bewilderment. They don't know the shortcuts. They know the path the Shiksha Guru is telling, the path Prataksha Guru is telling. So they follow it strictly initial days. So you have to wake up this way, you have to at this time start your chanting, you have to pay obeisances to the Vaishnava, you have to bow your down whosoever goes by. Initial days I used to come with my friends here, we used to even roads, if any Vaishnava goes, we used to pay obeisances. So it was good days, because somehow we were so much into that we have to follow the instruction which are being given to us. So the level of surrender onto the person who is teaching us spirituality was so high that we were taking everything by yes. We used to ask questions also, but the thing was that, yeah, they're gonna take us close to Krishna. I know nothing. I have no such big, devotional background. So this devotee gonna lead me toward Krishna. So that sort of mindset we have, and we followed all instructions with holding close to our heart, because it's been said it has to be done. No, sometimes as a devotee we start finding shortcuts. We become more intelligent, we become skills of speaking becomes better, understanding becomes better. The surrender level should always like innocent child. The person who joins in the initial days, he knows nothing and he follows. That should always be continued. He should not start finding faults in others, comparison here and there. But yes, he should always be in a reportive mood. What's happening should be known to the authorities. But then he should not try to find shortcuts according to my understanding. What is being said here has to be followed that way. It's not about your understanding. We are not up to that level that we can follow up our understanding. We have to follow the path what's been shown us by Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas and stick to it. That is why we should always have association of devotees. That comes later. When we become devotee, who take care of us? Association of devotees. If you are mingling with right mindset of devotees, they will take care of you. They will not allow you to go here and there. That comes next for the devotees. So initial days you are following your Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru rightly, you are on the right path. After some days, sometimes it becomes very casual. We are into devotion past this many years, I am doing this past so many years. In that case, your surrounding will help. Later you start taking everything so granted. It becomes a very familiar place to you. We are always impure, but we become more subject to the impurities because we start taking things granted. We should not take things granted. It was just a statement. I was comparing it my initial days, because we used to follow so strictly. I still try to follow things strictly because I have a strong association of devotees. So what I do, I go wrong, I discuss, and then they bring me back to the track. So we should always have association of devotees, those who are following things properly. They know where they want to go, what kind of mindset they should pursue while doing the services, what I am eligible to, why I am here. So we keep on talking about in our groups.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
When I joined, I was in blue.
Yes.
But I was thinking of it.
Yeah. Pure in the sense following instructions, not manipulating. Initially we don't manipulate because we don't know much, but once we start coming into the streamline, we start becoming manipulative, and if we lose the association of right devotees, we go in wrong path.
Different steps are there.
Yeah.
The sadhaka should always have this mind of state of consciousness. I was in there. By the mercy of Guru and Bhagavan, I came to the association of devotees. But I didn't know that I am pure. Now I came to know I am pure.
Yeah.
It will go on.
That's all. This is whole life practice. Nobody knows how much pure and impure philosophy will work, but it will be revealed in your action. That is also true. We don't know anything, but we are walking on the path. Krishna will keep on testing us. We will be keep on reacting, and then they know, oh, actually, abhi tak idhar hi, still here. So then we're gonna, okay, I have to still really focus on things. I have to really chant properly. I have to be really submissive. I have to be really be an active listener. So that is good actually for devotees. Krishna is testing now and then, so that we become always, very conscious of what's happening around. I should not get subjected to something which is gonna doom my devotion. That is always be the first priority of a devotee. Something should not doom my devotion. I should always follow. ठीक है, थोड़ा here and there happens, but then I have to come back and my devotion. Follow your devotion and also help others to follow their devotion. That is very much required. Krishna, actually, that is what the purpose of preaching is all about. Going toward Krishna and taking also people with you, devotee with you close to Krishna. That is what Srila Prabhupada's mission is all about. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is all about. Preaching and taking everybody close to Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you.